Good afternoon, members. It's the appointed time. We have a quorum. I call the meeting to order. Before we hear from the administration on the policy briefing, please note that the next regular meeting will take place on the 13th of February, which is a Friday, at 8:30. Together with the Deputy Chair, Mr. Lee, we will talk to the administration to work out the items for discussions in the next regular meeting. Item number 1 on today's agenda, policy briefing by the Constitutional and Mainland Affairs Bureau. Please refer to paper number CB bracket 272 of 2026 bracket 01. This is a policy briefing by the CMAB. I invite the administration to come in to join us. Members, if you would like to speak, please press the request to speak button. Welcome Acting Secretary for Constitutional and Mainland Affairs, Mr. Clement Wu, and his team, together with the Privacy Commissioner and the Chairperson of the Equal Opportunities Commission. Thank you for attending this meeting to give us the policy briefing. Administration's paper is CB bracket 272 of 2026 bracket 01. We also have PowerPoint presentations from the PCPD as well as the EOC. To allow sufficient time for members to ask questions, please, Acting Secretary, make good use of your time. I'll now invite Mr. Wu to give us the introduction. Thank you. This is the first time our Bureau attends the panel on constitutional affairs under the 8th term of the LegCo. We are here to talk to you about conduct of public elections, promotion of patriotic education, elimination of discrimination, equal opportunities, and protection of privacy, as well as other matters. In addition to my team, we have the Chief Electoral Officer of the Registration and Electoral Office, as well as the Chairperson of the Equal Opportunities Commission and the Privacy Commissioner with us. We will fully, faithfully, and resolutely implement one country, two systems, safeguard the constitutional order of the Hong Kong SAR. We will adhere to executive-led approach. We will fully implement principle of patriots administering Hong Kong so that governance will be in the hands of patriots. This is conducive to the long-term prosperity of Hong Kong. We want to make sure that all public elections will be conducted in a fair, open, honest, safe, and orderly manner. In 2021, there was the improvement of electoral system. In 2023, there was improvement in district governance and reform in the district councils. Since then, we have conducted a number of elections. Last year, there was the 2025 Election Committee Subsector by-election and the 8th term LegCo general election. Both were completed smoothly. It exemplifies that the government's working closely with the Electoral Affairs Commission, EAC, to ensure that the conduct of elections are done in a smooth manner while taking into account to make sure that it is user-friendly. We will continue to work closely with the EAC to prepare for the 2026 Election Committee Subsector ordinary elections, as well as making preparations for the 2027 Chief Executive election and the 2027 District Council ordinary election. We want to ensure that these elections will be conducted in a fair, open, honest, safe, orderly, efficient, and user-friendly manner. Through the improved electoral system, we will make use of diverse channels to introduce elections to introduce the system's superiority and importance to enhance public understanding. We attach great importance to the inheritance and promotion of the spirit of patriotism. We are determined to build mainstream values characterized by patriotism with affection of our country and Hong Kong and in conformity with one country, two systems. We have set in place short, medium, and long-term policies and initiatives to promote patriotic education. For short-term priorities, we focus on commemorative and celebratory activities on special days. We also adopt various measures on promoting patriotic education. Regarding medium and long-term measures, we target 9 aspects on students and young people. The 9 aspects are school curriculum, out-of-school activities, cultural activities, traditional festivals, etc. We do it in a step-and-step approach. Last year marks the 80th anniversary of the victory of the War of Resistance. We have conducted a series of activities, including the Chief Executive's visit with a delegation to different sectors to participate in the Grand Military Parade, the presenting of commemorative medals, visiting veterans, as well as various exchanges. This year, we will continue to promote various patriotic bases and programs. We'll also liaise with patriotic groups to tap into their network. We will make use of their resources and network to promote patriotic education. We want to ensure that patriotic education will be done in a steady, sustained, and enduring manner, which will yield a long-lasting result. The Constitution is the root and origin of the Hong Kong SAR. These together form our constitutional basis and order. We attach importance to the publicity work of the promotion of the Constitution and the Basic Law. We work with the Steering Committee of Constitution and Basic Law Promotion. We will strengthen our publicity and public education. We will launch large-scale outdoor publicity campaigns. We make use of online platforms, physical activities. We will also work with community organizations to promote the Constitution, the Basic Law, national security, as well as one country, two systems. NPC deputies and CPPCC members are a key force dedicated to our country and Hong Kong. They have a vital responsibility. They deliberate national affairs, and they have a deep understanding of mainland and Hong Kong affairs. We have been strongly supported by NPC deputies and CPPCC members under regular exchange mechanisms. We will continue with the regular exchange to get their support. We will make use of the support they give us in pursuit of achievements, as well as the successful implementation of one country, two systems. We are committed to safeguarding personal data privacy. In light of public concerns, we work with the PCPD in reviewing enhancements of the ordinance to ensure that proposals can effectively curb personal data breach without imposing undue operational pressure on the industry. We aim to report work progress to LegCo within this year. At the same time, the PCPD will continue to vigorously enforce the law to combat doxing offences while enhancing their publicity efforts. We are also committed to eliminating discrimination and building a caring and inclusive society. We've been supporting the EOC in enforcing the 4 anti-discrimination ordinances, publicity, public education, in order to disseminate the message of mutual respect and diversity, in order to promote social harmony and stability. We want to ensure that all citizens, irrespective of their gender, disability, family status, or race, can fully participate in society. That's the end of my introduction. I'll now defer to the Privacy Commissioner as well as the Chairperson of the EOC to present their PowerPoint presentations. Thank you. Thank you. I'm glad to have this opportunity to talk to you about the work of the Office of the Privacy Commissioner for Personal Data. We are a statutory body set up under the PDPO, the Personal Data Privacy Ordinance. Our functions include monitor and oversee the compliance of the ordinance, promote understanding by the public. We also conduct compliance checks and investigations. We also play roles of enforcement, education, and facilitation. We enforce the law with fairness and equity to ensure compliance. We also make use of different avenues to reach out to different sectors in the community to encourage different sectors to foster a privacy-friendly culture. In terms of compliance checks, in the past 3 years, we have, on average, every year conduct 400 compliance checks. In addition, we have received about 200 data breach notifications. The nature of these notifications can be categorized into the following groups: hacking, loss of documents or portable devices, inadvertent disclosure of personal data by email, post, or fax, employees' misconduct, system misconfiguration, and others. In terms of inquiries, in the past 3 years, we have, on an annual basis, on average, received about 17,000 public inquiries. In other words, every day we receive about 50 to 60 public inquiries. The inquiries cover collection and use of personal data, in particular, the Hong Kong ID number or Hong Kong ID copy. The Office complaint handling policy, access to and correction of personal data, employment issues, as well as installation and use of CCTV. Regarding complaints, in the past 3 years, we on average deal with 3,700 cases per year. These cover suspected breach of the 6 data protection principles, that is, improper collection of personal data, excessively long retention periods of personal data, improper use and disclosure of personal data, security of protection of personal data, as well as direct marketing activities. Our efforts to combat doxing. You may recall that the Personal Data Privacy Ordinance was amended in 2021, criminalizing the acts of doxing. Under the amendment, the PCPD was empowered to conduct criminal investigation and initiate a prosecution, and the issuance of cessation notices in relation to acts of doxing. The amendment ordinance took effect on the 8th of October 2021. From that time to the end of 2025, our office has handled 3,634 cases, including online cases discovered through our online patrol and from complaints. Through enforcement, publicity, education, we see that doxing has abated. In terms of external liaisons, we actively take part in regional and international organizations and seminars. That includes Asia-Pacific Privacy Authorities, Global Privacy Assembly, as well as Global Privacy Enforcement Network. We are the co-chairman of 2 subcommittees, that is, one relating to ethics and use of AI as well as an international enforcement subcommittee. We actively participate in international organizations and seminars conducted by different jurisdictions. We work with these organizations to play our role while tapping into our advantage with a strong backup from our country and being well connected to the rest of the world. We will continue to play our role in enforcement, education, and facilitation. We'll work with the government to develop Hong Kong into a smart city. We'll continue to support the government in the promotion of secure personal data exchange and flow within the GBA. Thank you.
Thank you, PCPD Chong. So we welcome Chairperson Lam of the EOC for the introduction. Chairman, members, I'm pleased to come here to introduce the work of EOC today and the functions of the EOC. The EOC is the Equal Opportunity Commission. It's established based on the Sex Discrimination Ordinance established in May of 1996. In other words, this is the 30th anniversary of the EOC. We have a vision that is to create a pluralistic and inclusive society without discrimination, where there is no boundaries to equal opportunities. We have the EOC board, and there is the chairperson and 16 members. They are all appointed by the chief executive. We would monitor the board would be overseeing the work of the EOC. And the funding comes from the administration every year. The purposes of the EOC is to implement the Sex Discrimination Ordinance, the Disability Discrimination Ordinance, Family Status Discrimination Ordinance, and a Race Discrimination Ordinance. These four ordinances protect Hong Kong citizens from discrimination due to their sex status, their gender, their family status, or race, or their disability. It also protect them from breastfeeding or sexual harassment or these kind of discrimination based on races or insults. The functions and powers of EOC including to eliminate discrimination, to facilitate equality of opportunities, reconciliation of disputes, and also to review legislation. So according to the four ordinances, we receive complaints, and we also encourage reconciliation of disputes. We will constantly review the implementation of the discrimination ordinances and suggest proposals when appropriate. Other than implementing the ordinances, we also focus on the promotion, education, and so as to promote the core values of equal opportunities in society. Throughout the years, we have upheld fairness in implementing our functions, and we hold ourselves accountable to the public, and we maintain transparency and high efficiency management. The EOC board is overseeing the EOC operation, and we would continue our efforts in promoting the work of the EOC so that the board has four working groups, including the Legal Services Division, the Complaint Services Division, the Policy Research and Training Division, as well as the Corporate Communications Division. And all these divisions will have meetings regularly and to follow up on the work in different aspects, and they will all report back to their work to the EOC board. Under the EOC board, the chairperson will be implementing the functions on day-to-day basis. So we now have two working groups, including the Legal Service Division, the Legal and Complaints Committee, Administration and Finance Committee, and also the Anti-Race Discrimination Working Group, and also the Anti-Sexual Harassment Unit, and also the so one of the functions of the EOC is to receive the complaints and the inquiries of the public. So once upon receiving those complaints, we would first analyze the complaints and allocate it to the appropriate personnel to handle them. So we would promote the conciliation of the disputes, but the methods for reconciliation are all voluntary, and the remedial measures can include the legislative proposals and also other methods. And for those breaches or scenarios that involve that contravene the ordinances, we will have follow-up measures. If the conciliation of disputes is not successful, the complainants can apply to the EOC for legal assistance. And so the Legal Services Division will support those complainants in need, and they will also publish, the division will also publish guidelines for the understanding of the public of the ordinances. They will also constantly review the implementation of the anti-discrimination ordinances and to make legislative proposal when appropriate. The division will also handle the complaints and receive the complaints, and to provide legal advice where necessary to the inquiring organizations or individuals. And on policy research, the EOC continue their work on education and promotion of the values of anti-discrimination. Throughout the years, on different anti-discrimination issues, we have conducted thorough researches to analyze the trends of anti-discrimination in Hong Kong, and we make legislative proposals accordingly. In 2024, we published a report regarding the breastfeeding in public spaces, and to make proposals accordingly. And last year, in 2025, we published a report regarding the family-friendly arrangements. We also made our recommendations in that report. We also published different guidelines. These guidelines help employers to, for example, help with the needs of the disabled and to provide them with the necessary support. We are also promoting the use of universal designs in public facilities so as to maintain the no barrier society. We also provide anti-sexual harassment training courses to companies so as to help implement the anti-discrimination practices in workplace. And on promotion and education, we also do different work. First, we make use of the media to promote, introduce, or to the public the anti-discrimination values, and we pay particular attention to the education of the youths. So we have organized a series of activities, including for the tertiary institutions, we implement activities, and for the secondary school students, we have debate competitions. And in 2015, we have the ethnic minorities unit, and we want to eliminate discrimination of the non-Chinese groups and their access to public facilities and resources. And we also enhance the support for the learning of Chinese, and we also promote ethnic minorities friendly school environments. And in 2018, we promote the Racial Diversity and Inclusion Charter for employers. We now have over 600 employers signing the charter. We also the unit also work closely with the LD to make sure there are enough job opportunities for the ethnic minorities. We also want to enhance the sensitivity towards anti-discrimination for ethnic minorities for both employers and companies. And for anti-sexual harassment efforts, we have the unit for it. We act as the first stop support for the victims of anti-discrimination. We have a hotline for the victims and to introduce to them the emotional support and various means to help them. And we also focus on the promotion of different sectors to educate them. And also we are concerned about the university students, the tertiary institutions' sexual harassment. So we have resources for both the teaching staff and the students of the tertiary institutions. And the students can learn how to avoid sexual discrimination in school environments. So members, this is the 13th year of the EOC, and we would continue our efforts in promoting and implementing the work of the EOC, and especially in the area of promotion to the public. And we also look forward to working hand in hand to build a equal and a society with diversity, and to promote values of equal opportunities. This is the end of my introduction. Thank you. Thank you, Chairperson Lam. So now I invite members to ask questions. So depending on the number of members wishing to speak, I would arrange the time accordingly. So perhaps there would be 3 minutes for each member. Mr. Wong, Mr. Robert Lee, Mr. Andrew Fan, Ms. Ginny Man, Mr. Thomas So, Mr. Andrew Yao, Mr. Chen Ring Kwong, Mr. Wu Ying Peng, Mr. Junius Ho, Mr. Holden Chow, and myself. First, Mr. Wong. Thank you, Chairman. I want to praise the electoral arrangements, especially the electronic polling. I'd like to have 2 questions. First is the connection, strengthen the connection with deputies of the NPC. A lot of the recommendations come from deputies, great views coming from them. So I want to ask how the administration can let the deputies of the NPC to strengthen their roles, and also how the administration can strengthen the connection with the deputies to facilitate their work. And also the Mainland and Constitution and Mainland Affairs Bureau, how the Bureau's work can be integrated into the PRC's development, especially into regarding the convenience for Hong Kong citizens in the Greater Bay Area. We can see in Nam Sha and Qian Hai, there are implementation schemes by the Chinese government, and so how can we help with the work of the GBA outline development plan? So are there any reports on the progress on the works in these aspects?
우기만 주례국장.
Acting Secretary, I thank the member for their questions. In relation to the questions on the GBA, the Greater Bay Area, I will defer to my colleague. NPC deputies and CPPCC members are close partners of ours. The mechanism was established in June 2023. So far, we've had about 18 exchanges. They were formal ones. Some themes, say for example, the 20th CPC seminar, budget consultations, legislation for Article 23, the 2 sessions meeting with the chief executive, the seminar on overall development of Tianhai, chief executive policy address, seminar to learn about the spirit of the 2 sessions, as well as a thematic seminar. At important times, we will talk to NPC deputies to pick their brains. We make full use of deputies on different levels using different channels to collect views and advices. In the interest of time, I'm now going to defer to my colleague. Well, Nansha and Tianhai are important partners in the GBA. In the past few years, we've maintained close liaisons with them. In terms of Tianhai, a month before, we have had a meeting with the working group. It was a meeting with a delegation of the mainland authorities. We understand that the Tianhai management group has promulgated the action plan for Tianhai 2026. Different bureaus and departments are studying the action plan. We want to make use of Tianhai as a pilot area. In 2024, we have conducted a seminar on the overall planning of Tianhai. We want to enhance understanding of the public on the development of Tianhai. We will continue with our work in this regard. We've been liaising with the Guangzhou municipal government in the development of Nansha. At the right time, we will conduct a working group meeting. Mr. Robert Lee. I would like to ask questions on 2 areas. First, promotion of patriotic education. How do you make better use of patriotic groups and organizations in Hong Kong? Some are school sponsors. Some are involved in art, culture, catering. Well, there are some Shanghainese classes, also classes for Beijing Opera. We can make use of these organizations by tapping into the network they have. The second question is in relation to financial institutions. Some have used accounts in fraudulent acts. When it comes to cross-boundary exchange of information, if we can make good use of the information of the 2 places, then it will enhance a cooperation in law enforcement. Say, for example, for someone with a bad track record, if you have the information, then it is conducive to crime prevention. When it comes to information exchange and transfer, are there any mechanisms or ways to make that happen? Mr. Wu? I will first answer questions in relation to personal data and privacy. Well, that is the second question. I would defer to the Privacy Commissioner. In relation to the first question, that is patriotic groups. There are a lot of patriotic groups and clans and clan association operating in Hong Kong. They support the work of Hong Kong. They care about Hong Kong and they care about their hometowns. They are very effective when it comes to mobilizing support. They have been playing a very active role. In 2024, when the Working Group on Patriotic Education was set up, We've seen a high level of participation from these patriotic groups. Say, for example, the 80th anniversary of the victory in the War of Resistance, the government has staged an array of activities. Many of them involve these clan organizations and patriotic groups. Say, for example, one organized by the Home Affairs Department and the Home and Youth Affairs Bureau with overseas Chinese groups. There are also sharings, performances, exhibitions to promote Chinese culture. Of course, patriotic education is the duty of the government. We work with different groups to ensure our work is effective and far-reaching. I'll now defer to the Privacy Commissioner on the question of cross-boundary transfer and exchange of personal information. Ms. Chong, thank you. We strongly support the government's initiatives in relation to cross-boundary flow of personal information. In December 2023, the Commission as well as the Administration of Online Information as well as the ITIB of Hong Kong, we work together facilitating measures on cross-boundary contract. The facilitating measure was launched on a pilot basis in December 2023, covering healthcare, messaging, as well as banks. After that day, that is after November 2024, the facilitating measures were open to different sectors and industries. These measures have been implemented very smoothly. The geographic coverage includes the 9 cities in the GBA. That is in relation to personal data within the area, as well as northbound transfer of personal data from Hong Kong. Once the standard contract is signed, then there can be secure flow of personal data across the boundary. It makes things easy for personal data handler on the mainland, because it exempts them from having to meet the requirements of mainland standards in relation to protection of personal data if they have signed the standard contract. I think members will need to be succinct so that more members will have time to ask questions. Next, Mr. Andrew Fan. I thank the Acting Secretary for his presentation. He mentioned about patriotic education for youngsters. I must declare that I am a chairperson of a relevant organization. We take part in organizing patriotic education activities as well as activities on the basic law as well as constitution. We want to enhance sense of identity and understanding of the basic law and constitution as well as patriotic education from different angles. But we need funding. That's the difficulty we have encountered in the past 2 or 3 years. Will the administration consider setting up a dedicated fund to support civic groups to organize more of these quality activities? If they don't have any plans, are there any resources available to achieve the same goal? Acting Secretary. Before the setup of the working group on patriotic education, different bureaus and departments have embarked on relevant work or have funded relevant activities. The the working group, having been, once it was set up, worked as a coordinator in these activities. The Civic Education Committee also has various funding programs to promote national as well as civic education. The Youth Development Commission has also have various funding programs on exchange programs. Some are funding programs for NGOs to organize exchange programs to the mainland to enable youngsters to have a better understanding of our country. Some of them are summer courses. I have learned about it. They are very effective in enhancing understanding. In March 2024, the HYAB has launched a program to subsidize clan associations to organize activities relating to the different groups. There are also other subsidy programs to different organizations to organize activities as well as to conduct researches. There are also programs on for secondary and primary schools to organize exchange programs. If there is a need to increase resources, we will work with the working group to see where demand is more keen than others. We want to make effective use of public money to maximize the effectiveness. We will give you a report if there is a new arrangement. Next, Ms. Ginny Mann. Just now, the acting secretary talked about organizing more school exchange tours. Will there be more support? Because I have helped school sponsors in these activities. I learned that when they go to the mainland, they will have to apply to mainland authorities themselves or to try to get support from local groups. So if they've never done it before, it's extremely difficult. Will mainland offices act as a coordinator or liaising parties to help these groups? I thank member for the question. Our mainland offices will provide suitable support. In terms of youth and student exchange programs, they have done some work. I understand that schools, when organizing these exchange programs, will involve other organizations. They've been doing it quite well. Regarding liaising with companies, institutions, organizations, our mainland offices will provide support as much as possible. Well, this is something that requires the involvement of the government, the community, as well as the business sector. We want to encourage youngsters and students to take part in exchange programs on the mainland. One of our policy areas is to establish a closer tie with mainland organizations to organize more patriotic education activities, to foster mainstream values that identified with our country. We'll continue to maintain liaison with different sectors while continuing to improve our initiatives.
Now we have Mr. Thomas So. Thank you, Chairperson. And thank you, Deputy Secretary. I'm concerned with the anti-ethnic and minority discrimination in Hong Kong. I look at the statistics. The ethnic minorities population has gone from 2011 around 450K to 620K in the latest. So a lot of ethnic minorities are born and they grow up in Hong Kong, and they participate in a wide variety of works in Hong Kong. I just listened to the chairperson of the EOC, and they have a ethnic minorities unit. The chairperson also explained that one aspect of their work is to help the ethnic minorities learn Chinese. But then I looked back at the ethnic minorities around me. They may be born and they are brought up in Hong Kong, but their Chinese writing and speaking are not up to standard, and so they cannot find jobs in Hong Kong effectively. So it's a barrier to their integration into Hong Kong society. I don't know if the administration is aware of these issues. So are there any measures to improve these situations? I would invite my colleague from the UC, the chairperson, to answer that. Thank you, Mr. So. We are aware a lot of ethnic minorities are living in Hong Kong, and their populations grew rapidly. According to the 2021 survey, they take up 8% of the total population, and their birth rates is high. So we have a lot of youths who are ethnic minorities in Hong Kong. So we are concerned about their education. We're concerned especially about their Chinese education, their education received with regards to Chinese language, because it affects their integration in society, because it affects their employability. So we have actually made a lot of recommendations to the EDB. And we see that the EDB has implemented a lot of measures to help the ethnic minorities learn Chinese. And the measures do not stop at teaching them speak Chinese, but also help them read and write Chinese. I've given some examples of these measures. They have special subsidies for schools to admit ethnic minorities, and also to provide them with after-school classes to help with their Chinese ability. And the schools are more welcoming towards admitting ethnic minorities. Gradually, they are no longer labeled as minorities, but they have become part of us. So we continue to encourage their integration into school environments, so that the non-Chinese students can be accepted and by their counterparts, and they can integrate better into the society. I also look at the statistics, and more schools, the mainstream schools, they has starting to admit ethnic minorities, and the ethnic minorities, they are also making their way to universities. But to improve their education of Chinese on them is still a long road. Just now, employability is mentioned. So the HAD has also some support on improving their employability. For example, the disciplinary forces also have measures to accommodate the needs of the ethnic minorities because of their difference in the levels in commanding Chinese. So all these measures would improve their employability and to help them get jobs. And we have Mr. Yao. Thank you. I have one comment and two recommendations. As a Hong Kong merchant working in the mainland for over 30 years, I really would like to thank the 5 major mainland offices of the administration. We cooperated seamlessly in the past. I hope that more resources can be dedicated to these mainland offices. For example, the Shanghai office, they only have 30 staff members. But
one prefecture already have 50 some authorities, so they don't have enough resources. So they can have two aspects of roles. First, they can, for the going out initiatives of the mainland companies, they can be the leader in that. Many mainland companies are solicited by both foreign and within the country opportunities. So that I think that the mainland offices can have greater roles in promoting the Hong Kong's economic development, and this can be their KPI. And also the cooperation of deputies to the NPC. I believe a lot of deputies and also the representatives in the different levels of the mainland. So we can give them, for example, some targets for the deputies who are committed to helping Hong Kong. I think they are open to these ideas. They can be delegated with some targets to meet. Thank you, Mr. Yao. We work very closely with the NPCSC and also different prefectures and different provinces. I know Mr. Yao has a lot of cooperation experience with the Shanghai mainland office. We have 5 major mainland offices. Actually, the Shanghai one, the 30 members, with 30 members is already a pretty big one. So for the going out initiatives of the mainland companies, we also have our measures. We already have a working group dedicated to the going global initiatives of the mainland companies. We still have the Investment Promotion Commission and also other departments within the administration all collaborate to help them achieve the global initiatives. So we also send teams of delegates, including professionals, accountants, to go up there to mainland to help them. So the administration will continue our work in promoting the work of the mainland offices. Then we have Mr. Chan. I want to know more about the promotion of the electoral arrangements from the 2021. We already have 7 main elections from there. And it is implementation of the Patriots administering Hong Kong and principles, and the voting rates is on the uptrend. But in every election, we still have someone who will want to sabotage the elections. They may advocate for non-voting or different sabotage measures of the elections. So the administration, how to improve the arrangements after the improving electoral system consolidation amendments ordinance 2021, so that to avoid misleading of the public by someone with bad intentions, and how to continue to promote the uptrends in the voting rates. Thank you, Mr. Chen. We continue our monitoring of the elections at all levels. And for some detrimental speeches or the spread of such, we would continue to curb those. And some people, they would like to spread these speeches to derogate the elections. And for the other instituting of behaviors that are not appropriate, we will continue to monitor those, and including the election in the 7th of October last year, we also do a lot of monitoring work. But we can see a downtrend in this kind of behavior. I believe it is a result of the continual work of the administration and the familiarity of the public with the improved electoral system. And the awareness of the public has also been improved following the implementation of one country, two systems. But we would stay on alert. We would work tirelessly to facilitate elections. Take the last general election of the electrical as an example. When you looked at the debates or the activities, promotions in community, we have promotions at all levels, and we see participation across different levels of society. And we also have creative promotion materials, and you can see our promotion work does not stop. And for the elect, we also have the facilitating measures to help them. And in future elections, we will continue to build upon the foundation of work we have and to facilitate the smooth elections in future. And Mr. Wu, I'm concerned about the constitutional and the basic law education. I was responsible for talks on these constitutional and basic law education, and on secondary students and law students, I was dedicated to educating them. But sometimes it's hard to assess the effectiveness of these kind of education work. So any performance indicators for this kind of work by the administration, so that both the quality and the quantity of this promotion work can be enhanced. Thank you, Mr. Wu. We look back at the policy address last year. We have measures regarding the performance indicators about this kind of work. The KPIs in 2026 knots to improvement knots 750, and there should be 950K people and being engaged, and the views should not be less than 27 millions. So, as you mentioned, not just the quantity of the work, the quality is also a concern. So we have first taken care of the quantity of the work because there are quantifiable indicators in the design and the formulating of the policies. We would put it in a pride of place. We also have a gatekeeping role in ensuring the content of these activities. So we would continue to implement these standards to make sure these activities are interactive and creative. And the constitutional and the constitutional and basic law working group will continue to their work and to review the effectiveness of the work. For example, they look at the turnout rates into these activities, and they also look at the opinions given after these activities. For example, if we launch a video, then the views, we can look at that. And also the popularity of different activities are being constantly reviewed. We also look at the innovation, the help that can be made by the innovation work in doing our promotions. We will continue to enhance the public's understanding of the basic law and the constitution. We will continue to adjust our approach accordingly, according to trends in society.
Dr. Junius Ho. Thank you, Acting Secretary. Congratulations on your acting post. You have very important work ahead of you. The structure, when I see it, is not very complicated. Say, for GBA, there is a commissioner. For personal data, there is a privacy commissioner. Equal opportunities, there is the commission. So the last portfolio is education, election, and you have a number of offices. I don't know whether they are under the GBA office or Mainland offices. So your organizational structure is quite straightforward, but you have a task that can be said to be important or not very important. You're involved in an extensive area: constitution, basic law, security, patriotic education, and there is also external affairs. You will go to Geneva to attend UN conferences to give reports. And it seems that your portfolio is overlapping with others as well. So what are the KPIs? Well, you talked about KPIs on basic law education and patriotic education. But there are other bureaus that are involved as well. So how do you delineate who's in charge of what? I don't think that is very clear. How do you make your work more effective? Well, the Mainland offices are also related to the ETOs as well as other offices. You're also related to the CMAB when it comes to patriotic education and promotion of the basic law and constitution. There's also the involvement of the HYAB. So there is no clear delineation. What about division of labor and allocation of resources? What are your KPIs? We'll try to help you as much as we can. Well, Dr. Ho has a very unique view. Are bureaus different from other bureaus? Because they sometimes offer, they are in charge of direct provision of services. For us, we have the EAC and the Registration and Electoral Office. That's very clear. But also we have other offices covering patriotic education, promotion of the basic law and constitution, and these involve other bureaus as well because our portfolio is extensive. Our work is cross-departmental. We are the coordinator because, well, someone has to do it. We have Mainland offices. Apart from the functions Dr. Ho has listed, well, there is also one function that is to help Hong Kongers residing on the mainland. There are also events of different nature. We work with the Trade Development Council on the mainland. We work with Invest Hong Kong when it comes to other places. We work with the CEDB. But someone has to be the coordinator. We are usually the coordinator because our portfolios spans over a vast area. Easily measurable KPIs are the number of activities, the number of participants, the number of companies involved, the number of click views, viewership, feedback, scores given, and these will be our KPIs. Mr. Wu has given us a detailed reply. Next, Mr. Holden Chow. Thank you. We have the chairperson of the EOC here. I would like to talk about ethnic minorities. Just now, Mr. Thomas So talked about employment opportunities of ethnic minorities. I'd like to say something about it as well. We've been involved in assistance given to ethnic minorities when it comes to employment. Some people from ethnic minority groups may not have as high a proficiency in Chinese as required, but there are some organizations that don't require such a high proficiency, and the ethnic minorities can work there. They are born and bred here, and they are very important to Hong Kong as well. I understand that for the Correctional Services Department, the Chinese proficiency requirement is not as high. They don't really need their officers to write in Chinese that often. They have employed ethnic minorities. Perhaps we can think along this line of work. The EOC can also follow up on this issue. The second point is in relation to promotion of the Basic Law and Constitution. The work has been conducted for many years, and it should not stop. I heard from the acting secretary that additional resources will be devoted in this regard. Well, you have to think about using more interesting ways to attract attention, say for example engaging animators. You also need to step up the scale of publicity. We talk about the Constitution Day and other events. We need to scale up the publicity. So please adopt the same approach. Mr. Wu, I thank the member for his views. He's given us views on how to better promote the Basic Law and the Constitution. We will continue to review our work. I will defer to the chairperson of the EOC on matters relating to ethnic minorities. I thank the member for his views. We do agree that employment opportunities for ethnic minorities is important. We've been advocating a lower requirement for Chinese proficiency. We have racial diversity and inclusion charter for employers. We have over 600 companies as members. We encourage them to review their work process because for some posts, writing in Chinese is not that important as long as the post holder can speak Cantonese. I understand that the Labor Department has been helping to stage employment fairs. We mobilize members in the charter to set up employment booths to recruit. They agree that if there is a low requirement on Chinese proficiency, say for example some machinery work, hotels, they will, if they can do it, they will lower the Chinese requirements. In addition, internship is very important for ethnic minorities as well. Some don't know much about the job market. We encourage our charter members to provide internship opportunities. It's on a matching basis. The companies and the interns will see if they are suited for each other. It also is a chance for interns to know more about the job market, which will enhance their employment opportunities. It's my turn. I have a couple of questions. Well, we've had a successful election of the electrical general election, that is in relation to some constitutional constituencies as well as the election committee constituencies. There is the electronic vote counting. How do you consolidate your experience so that in upcoming elections, say for example the election committee subsector election or the CE election, more technology will be used. The acting secretary said that, well, anything to do with the mainland is under your portfolio. Well, we contribute to the development of Hong Kong. We share the fruit of development of our country. Well, all bureaus are related to you. We have the commissioner for the development of GBA. You work with mainland offices. You need to work with different bureaus. The mainland draw reference from our practice in terms of protection of personal data as well as equal opportunities. So how do you enhance your work? I will defer to the Chief Electoral Officer on the question relating to elections. Please switch on her microphone. Thank you. There has been some improvement in vote counting in the functional constituency. We have adopted electronic vote counting. We can just put the ballot papers into the machine for the votes to be counted. This greatly enhances efficiency. We have conducted a whole process review. That includes how to fill in returns, how to transport ballot papers, how to offload the ballot boxes at the central counting stations after the close of polling. Our findings show some improvements. In addition to identifying areas for improvement, we will see how we can strengthen other areas, say, for example, training of polling staff. Thank you. The chairperson talked about how the mainland officers can do more. They currently organize and coordinate government departments of the two places, facilitate communications and cooperation. In the past, it's mostly getting companies to go to the mainland. In the future, it will be more about helping mainland enterprises to go global. We'll continue with our work. We will actively identify other places, not necessarily first tier cities or provinces. Enterprises in these places may not know how to go global, even with a success in the domestic market. Colleagues in the mainland offices, in the Go Global working group, we will in enhanced liaison with mainland enterprises to help them go global. They will do so via Hong Kong using Hong Kong professional services. These enterprises aim to go global, say for example to Belt and Road countries. How do they ensure that their operation comply with local requirements? They make use of Hong Kong professional services, say for example legal services, to learn about possible risks in going global. Government departments can do more in terms of facilitating communication and cooperation. We will do more.
As the CE has said, as the super connector, the role can be implemented by the Constitutional and Mainland Affairs Bureau, and we can see the bureau has the least number of directorate members in the bureau, but your work can't be understated. You have to your work spread through all across China. So in the coming policy address and the budget, we would like to see how the work of facilitating the global initiatives and the cooperation between the mainland and Hong Kong can be facilitated. So we have already had all questions from members. If there are no follow-up questions, I would bring it to any other business. I would call this meeting to an end. Thank you.